Welcome back to Heroes of Middle-earth. We're going to go over your starting team, what team you should focus on. There's two main light teams out there, and I really think I'm going to go for Rohan. We're going to talk about all their abilities and how they synergize with each other, because it's really important to have a really good starting team to get through PvE content. You have to get through that so we can farm all the gear and farm all these heroes, and they do give you a lot of hobbits along with Strider tokens in the beginning, but I don't think I'm going to focus on Strider and hobbits anymore right now, even though I think they're a really good team, and we're going to look at the breakdown of both of these two light teams that you start with, because we need to be able to go through light side, dark side, guild campaign, as well as this adventure mode right here for Sam to go farm Sam fragment. Now, this isn't going to do anything with arena. We'll talk about arena in another video because there's a lot of shadow down here that do some really good blinding and disabling, so we'll talk about that in another video. So right now, we need to get through the adventure mode. We need to go over here to the challenges and get our challenges done for Forge of the Deep, which is humans and goblins. We need to get the treasure trove, which is light. So light side with humans is really good because we can knock both of these out. And then of course they'll rotate and we'll have orcs and elves for this, tanks and healers for this one, attackers and support down here, and then shadow on this day. As free to play, there's a limited number of heroes you're going to be able to get right away to start in the game and to really focus on. These are it for now. As a free to play person, I could go farm him. I could farm this one right now. And that's really it. I think I could farm. I can get her from the shop as well. But what I have access to and what you'll have access to, this is day 3. This is the end of my day 3. I'm level 28. It's as far as I'm going to be able to go. I've refreshed 3 times over here. Now it's 100 to refresh instead of 50, so I don't refresh anymore. I've got 460 gems, so I can't just go refreshing like crazy. So I've got to really micromanage what I do with those refreshes, but 3 a day is fantastic to do. It's free to play. And then these are the heroes that we have. So for my light side heroes, I've broken down the 2 teams here and what I want to start focusing on. And as you can see, Eothane, I've already got him up to level 28. We've got him up to gear tier 5. So I'm starting to focus on these 3 right here because I think the synergy on these 3 for the Rohan are amazing. Let's go over this. Let's just talk about these 2 teams and you let me know your thoughts on these 2 teams. So we get Strider, right? Strider is given to us. We get free shards for doing quests in the game. Now I'm about to be able to take Strider up to another star level, to 3 star. He's 52 of 55. It's still going to take a while. It's actually going to take quite a long while to get Strider up, even though it looks like it's easy that they give us a lot of Strider shards. It's still going to take some time. I could get some of these other ones up much quicker than actually doing Strider, but he's a decent unit. He's got a lead here for whenever he does a crit, he grants stealth to the most wounded hobbit. And then a Road to Redemption team gains 5% additional damage and 5% armor, maxed out 15% damage and 10% armor. So that's pretty good for leader skill. If he crits, he's got an ability on his 3rd ability, does AoE, and it gets additional crit. So he crits, and then he gets stealth to people, but he also gives that additional damage armor, which I think is a pretty good boost. His S3 does the AoE plus additional crit, and then his passive ability gives him crit and armor, plus armor for each ally with stealth. So if a lot of these hobbits have stealth on, he'll get even higher armor, so he'll kind of be out there tanking. Frodo is a real good assassin. He can really do some serious damage when he's stealth. He can put himself in stealth on that S3, stealth and then attack, and then he gets with his passive additional damage, plus he gives himself might, which is 50% additional damage. So he can really get some high numbers at times. I'm just not sold on what Frodo does yet, or as high as I can take him right now currently. But we do get login rewards of Frodo. 30-day login reward, we get Frodo quite often, plus we can farm him on light 3-1. So it's easy to have Strider and Frodo together. Really easy to have Pippin in that team as well. Pippin is a super easy one to farm because he's on a guild stage. We get all that guild currency, we just farm in there. It's easy. I've got him all the way at 3 star now. I could take him to 4 star if I really wanted to keep focusing on his node. So it's easy to get Pippin up, and he's a great healer. Like, Pippin is a really good healer, even if you're not with a hobbit. But he gets even better if you have Merry. But the problem with Merry is we don't farm Merry until 5-9 Shadow, which is going to take a long time before I'm able to get up to 5-9 Shadow. Chapter 5. That's going to be insane. So I just put him as red because I know I'm not going to have Merry anytime soon. That's like a dream. I don't even need to worry about him, but I do like how he attacks, gets assists, attack, gets assists from 2 hobbits, gains haste and stamina to the team, which stamina is for us to do our abilities. So if we get additional stamina, Mary will let our guys do our skills more often. He does focus, and then he'll give immunity to himself and Pippin once they drop below 50% HP. So he's a pretty good unit. And Sam, I don't know how quickly I'm going to get Sam, because right now I'm at like 28 of 100 of him, but I think everybody's going to get Sam for free. I'm pretty sure that's an adventure thing that stays up and you just continue to do it every day. We get different currency with that. It's little apples, and we can run through there with a light team. And then Sam's going to give us attack plus fortitude on his S1. His S2 will do provoke plus nimble, which means you get to ignore the first attack to you. He gives his ally nimble. Then his S3 does a heal to himself of 20% of his max HP once he's skilled out. And then he'll attack blind, and it's on a short 3-turn cooldown. So that's crazy that he can heal himself on a 3-turn cooldown. Once you have it maxed out at 20% of his HP, attack someone and blind somebody, which is really strong because then they miss when they attack. Sam's passive is really good too, because whenever an enemy attacks a Road to Rivendell teammate, you'll be able to counterattack. 75% chance to counterattack once that's fully maxed out. So I think that's really strong. Right now it's going to be at 25 and then up to 30, 40, 50. It'll keep going up, but still really cool to have Sam in there with all these guys. It would be great. Even if you didn't have Mary and you still rode Pippin, Frodo, Strider, and Sam, I still think that that's a pretty solid team. But I don't think it's as cool as the Rohan team. One of the reasons is because the Rohans are all humans, but I really like the way that they counterattack a lot, and I like their abilities. And we can only get 3. Like, I only have access to 3 of them right now. I'll never have Eldred because you can only get him from purchasing right now. And Welfwyn, you get it light chapter 4-1, or you have to spend 150 gems in the main shop. I don't have 150 gems to spend as free to play, so I'm not going to get her either. I don't think Elfwyn's that good. She doesn't assist any of Rohans. She doesn't do counterattack or assist with them to help out. So I don't really think she's a great unit anyways, but just these 3 alone here would give me ability to do light campaign. They're humans for the Forge of the Deep, which we just saw. They're light for Treasure Trove, and they're light for Sam's Guardian's Journey to be able to get those fragments of Sam and level him up. Eowyn as lead will give us 45% additional crit whenever we do an assist or counterattack. Now that's fully maxed out. It starts out at like 25 or something and goes up, but it's still a good amount of crit right now for any time you assist or counterattacks. And these guys do that a lot. She even does it for herself with her passive. Whenever she takes a turn, she's going to gain 1 stack of counterattack. So that's pretty nuts. Then she'll have this high crit rate whenever she counterattacks. She just attacks on her basic ability plus defensive, which means she gets to ignore the first hit to her, which is very strong for a basic ability. Her S2 might to the squad, so they do 50% additional damage, plus she gets an assist from the highest attack in the team. Now, she doesn't have to be with Rohans to do any of her abilities, just that lead is only Rohan. Her abilities will pull in anybody with the highest attack. Her S3 will cleanse, attack, plus damage, additional damage per Bane, plus disable, so they can only do their basic ability, I believe, then. And then that passive, the counterattack, is really strong. I think she's great, and she's easy to farm at Shadow 1-5. Eothane has the S1 attack with Expose, so they 50% less defense. S2 Provoke. This Provoke is really strong. This is why I really liked him. This Provoke, even though he's not a super tank, he can't take all these hits, but that Provoke is really strong, plus it gives turn meter to our squad mates. So of course I'm going to run Pippin as a healer because that's what I've got. Pippin's easy to farm. Pippin will still do everything he can do except for the regens because we don't have Mary in there. He'll still do the passive for himself. We'll do the healing ability based off of his heals, his HP, and he'll give us might on that S3 for us to get additional damage, which is a little redundant for our team, but still Pippin in there. Now this is for PvE content, getting those heals to make sure we get through those 3 waves, and 3-star it is still really strong for this team because we still need 2 others. We're only running 3 Rohans, but 3 is plenty for me. Back to Eothane. S3 AoE attack plus gives counterattacks to all your allies. It's on like a 5 or 6 turn cooldown. It's pretty long, but still giving all your allies counterattack is pretty damn nice, especially since they're going to be at a 45% chance to a crit whenever we assist or counterattack. Only the Rohan ones of us, right? But still, we'll have our other allies will counterattack. And then Eomer, he does an attack plus turn meter. He does an attack plus summons a Ronin. We have a 6 slot. You can't field 6 people, but you can have 5 of your guys out there, and then you can summon. A summon will come in that 6 slot. Now, this summon dies very easily, but it is super strong. It attacks really hard. And when he summons it, he attacks with it immediately. And then it'll still be out there. And the AI doesn't really go after that summons all the time, so you'll be able to use that ability and really go in and attack. His skill 3 cleanses Bane plus attacks and does more damage as Eothane is an ally. His passive heals himself plus Eowyn plus you gain a stack of assistance. So whenever anybody does their basic ability, you will fly in and do your basic ability and lose 1 stack of assistance. There's a lot of attack and a lot of assistance going on with just these 3 members. And this girl, again, really doesn't seem great. She's 4-1 light, so we're not going to have access to her or be able to play for her. This healer is amazing. If you can get Eldred, you have to pay for him the only current way right now. I'm sure they're going to have a node for him. They're going to unlock new things once global release happens. This is soft launch right now, guys. You can play the game. It will not wipe. It's like early access. The game is coming out in 8 days from now, but jump into it and get playing if you can. There's a video I've done on downloading the APKS, you can play it easily. Day 3, let's talk about what team I'm going to level up after we went over all that information. Right now, I'm switching focus to Rohan. We've got Eothane, Eowyn, and Eomer. We're going to level these guys up, and we can farm them on the stages that they're available, which are not hard. Shadow 1-5, we've got Light 1-1 in the arena shop. So whenever I see Eomer, I believe he's the one in the arena shop, I'll grab him with my arena tokens. So make sure you're always doing your arena. You should be doing it, win or lose, all the time, whenever you can. I think you can only do like 3 or 4 or 5 a day. It's actually pretty limited. And then we've got her, which we can farm easily and refresh that farm node for 25 gems. And then you can rerun it 5 more times. That's what I did today with 2 of these. I did it with her and I did it with Eothane. Refreshed both of their nodes for 25 each. Wasn't that much gems. We'll see if I'll be able to keep that up or not as free to play. And then I ran them again 5 times to get more of their fragments. So they should be coming in up to 30 pretty quickly now that I'm really focusing on them. I could have done that the last couple days, but that's okay. It's only day 3. We'll see what's going on and see how strong these 3, along with Strider and Pippin, will be. I really think these 3 are just amazing together as far as a starting team. Of course, they're going to be good in PvP, and they're just really good getting us through PvE content. And Pippin's still an amazing healer with them. And we're not going to use, just make sure that if you're going to use Strider in the team, which I am, I'm going to use Strider currently for light side. These 3 plus Strider and Pippin, don't let him be the lead. Make sure you click over there and have her become the lead so you get that additional crit rate. You guys let me know your thoughts down below. That's it for the starting teams that we have for light side and the ones that they really want you to focus on. Let me know if you're going full on for the hobbits and how that's going for you and what you're going to do about Mary. Once we can get Mary, I think this team is going to be fantastic. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Appreciate your time. Please subscribe, and I will see you all in a video soon.